If you are living your life for others, or if you're living to please others, you're destroying yourself. You're slowly killing yourself. You're just not aware of it, right? You can't come to this earth and live for other people in the sense of living to please other people. You're doing it all wrong, in my opinion. We each have a unique vibration. We each have a unique purpose that we came here to fulfill. That's why we have unique thumbprints, unique faces, unique expressions, unique ways of seeing the world. And you're created uniquely because you're a unique piece in the puzzle of reality. Nature, God, reality, source energy didn't make a mistake in creating you the way you are. Irrespective of how you're thinking about yourself right now, you are made for a particular reason and you have a particular purpose. Of course, most of us live and we're not sure what our purpose is. That's fine, that's understandable, because perhaps the way we've been brought up with different ideologies and paradigms which tell us our purpose is maybe, for example, to just go to school, get a degree, get cars, a house, have a family, and then you die off, and then that's it. For some people, their purpose is to come into the world, have a particular religion, worship a particular God, and then serve him till their day ends, and then make sure they either make it to heaven or they make it to hell. These are all belief systems that different people have. If they were facts, it would be the same everywhere in the world, but we realize that different places you go to have different belief systems as to why we are here, right? And that's okay, that's fine, that's the different perspectives from the unique parts of the world. All that said, fundamentally, I believe each and every single one of us has a unique purpose to serve. And we are worthy of existence. We have worth. Otherwise, we wouldn't exist. Everything that exists has a role that it's playing. Even the fly that you're swatting and killing, the mosquito, whatever, every single thing that exists for a reason. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist. And the fact that it exists shows that there's a purpose to it, right? So in that same way, whoever I'm talking to, and me, myself, we have purposes. And how do we find our purpose? Well, our purpose fundamentally is to be. Just by being and by having an experience, you are living your purpose fundamentally. Because each and every one of us is like a drop of water from the ocean of existence. It's like a drop of consciousness from the ocean of consciousness. We are all God, the all, existing as individual forms or manifested forms of this God or all entity from different particular vantage points to experience life from different perspectives so that we can have unique experiences and feed that experience back into the all. So we are like projections out of the all, cocooned as singular individual conscious entities, having unique perspectives from unique points of view. And because we're still the all and the one is the all, whatever we experience, that information, that knowledge goes back into the all to continue to expand it, right? So the all is all expansive, it's the infinite. There's no beginning, there's no end to it, but it is able to play this trick of narrowing itself down into different beings. Call it a cat, a rock, a flower, a leaf, a human being, a tree, a cloud, whatever it is, to have a particular unique experience that is limited. And because from that limited point of view, it can definitely have a limited experience or a unique experience, which will be different from each other perspective and each other point of view, so it can discover something new. And that information feeds back into the all and continues to expand it. So just by existing, you are living your purpose. But in addition to this purpose that is lived out by just existence, we have different roles that we're here to play, right? When you have a bottle opener has a role of opening a bottle. A corkscrew has its different role of opening, say, a wine bottle. A knife has its role, a fork has its role. Different things in existence have their role. In the same way, you also have your role. Now, how do you find your purpose? To find your purpose, you have to be aligned with your passion, right? You have to be aligned. And when I say your passion, of course, you can have an idea of like the big passion. Oh, I want to be a scientist. Oh, I want to go to space. Oh, I want to be an artist. Yes. And within those, in addition to that aligned passion, how you get to that bigger passion is to follow the passions you have daily. And when I say the passions, I'm talking about like the excitement, the thing that gets you excited, that makes you come alive, the thing that you will live for, even if you weren't paid money or you weren't paid a single cent for it. The thing that it's doing brings you joy, fills you with life. So like I said, the point of your purpose is to live, right? Fundamentally. So how do you live? You live by doing what makes you feel alive. So if you wake up today and you're not sure what to do, but playing some music and dancing to it makes you feel alive, well, guess what? Then you are on the path of your passions. And your passion is aligned to your purpose. So if you're living and you feel like, I don't know what to do, like I really don't know my passion, I don't even know where to begin. Begin from what makes you feel alive in this very moment. Begin from what brings you joy. Like, sit in quiet for a bit and think about all the things you could be doing right now, and which one can you do right this moment that brings you joy, that makes you feel alive. Because you see, joy, excitement, these are all particular frequencies, right? And they are frequencies that make you feel a certain way. So when I say frequency, don't get too lost. Just take it in the sense of like, what rate are you vibrating at? And by what rate are you vibrating at, how are you feeling? Because the way you feel is telling you about the rate you are vibrating at. There's a difference between vibrating and a low vibration where it's like you're angry, you're sad, versus vibrating at a frequency where it's like you're happy, you're excited, you feel like you can get it right now, like you can do whatever you want to do, you can create. Those are two different vibrations. And if you want to even really understand it fundamentally, think about like the light spectrum, right? You have red, orange, all the way down to blue. If you look at these different light spectrums, you realize that blue has a particular frequency, which may be, I don't know the exact thing, but let's say it's like something hertz, right? Red also has a different frequency and there's a different number of hertz. You can look it up. Like, I don't know off the top of my head, maybe 550 and 900 or something. And the frequency that red has is what's determining its color, red. The frequency that blue has is what's determining its color, blue. So if you had a device where you can literally change the frequency from the number that shows red, from one number to the other, you literally see the color changing. And in the same way, your emotions change when your frequency changes, right? And so how you feel is telling you the frequency you're on. And the frequency that puts you on the path, let's call this path of purpose. Let's say these are other paths that maybe you're on, right? And like you're going through life, you're like, I don't know what to do in my life. I don't know what to do in my life. In order to get to the path of your purpose so that you can serve your role of living that you came here to do, you have to tune into the frequency of excitement, of joy, of passion. And like I'm saying, your passion may be like the big goal of the dreams that you have, but the thing is, how do you get to that? you begin by what makes you come alive right now. If it means going to take a walk, if it means going to take a shower, if it means cooking something, if it means just sitting in silence, if it means watching a TV show, what is that thing that allows you to switch on that frequency of joy right this moment? That is where you begin. And when you begin off that and you live that excitement fully till you can't live it anymore, and then you ask yourself, okay, what is the next thing that's going to bring me joy? And then you go on to that. When you're done with that, what is the next thing that brings me joy? And you go on to that. Following that feeling every day and keeping that feeling alive gets you onto the path of purpose. Because on this path, all you experience is joy, excitement, and so on and so forth. And the thing about this joy and excitement that you're experiencing is that experience it with no insistence, right? Do not have an insistence or be fixated on how what you're doing should come out. Don't say that because I'm excited going on this walk, this is what needs to happen on the walk. No. Surrender to it. Surrender to the excitement. Because when you have that insistence on what you think the outcome should be, you are causing resistance. You are not flowing on the path. So you need to live in this excitement and this joy without any insistence. And whatever happens along the way, learn from it. Whatever happens along the way, this could be challenges, this could be setbacks, right? And these setbacks and stuff, sometimes you may react to them by changing your energy and leaving the path of excitement, right, into another path of maybe frustration, right? When that happens, you're literally leaving the path onto another path. So what you have to do to stay on the path is, irrespective of what happens, stay in a positive state. Because when you stay in a positive state, it allows you to be able to see something positive from the setback that you're experiencing. Because if you decide to go into the negative state and start complaining, all you will see is negative, and slowly you will be leaving the path of joy into the path of frustration, anger, and so on and so forth, and you'll be leaving the path of your purpose. So it's about vibrational tuning. Regardless of what happens, stay in your passion, stay in your excitement. Don't have any insistence on what's going to happen. Just flow with it. Go with it. Surrender. Trust the flow that as long as I'm in this path, things will always work out. And it's leading me to my big passion. And it's just going to be bursts of joy, from burst of joy to burst of joy. But along the way, because the path is a winding path, I may meet certain challenges which may try to trigger me to go into negativity. When you get into that space, pause for a second and gather yourself and stay in the positive energy. And because when you stay in the positive energy, you will learn something from that challenge or that negative instance that happened. And that moment itself will also teach you something about your belief systems that made you see that thing negatively, right? And you learn more about yourself. And then guess what? You gain more knowledge, you gain more information from that challenge, that instance, and you can continue to expand that excitement again and continue to stay on that path. So I began by saying that when you live your life trying to please other people, you're slowly killing yourself because you're leaving the path of excitement, because you're doing something that doesn't make you feel alive. You're doing it for somebody else. You are trying to leave your path onto someone else's path. And you can't do that. We all have our path, and we are all creating our paths through our excitement because we all have unique purposes here. Even though our underlying purpose is to live, we have unique ways in which we will express it. So you can't live your life for another person. If you do that and you're living your life to please other people, it's like you're leaving your path, which has been created for you by God, by source energy, to go live on somebody else's path. It's like you were born to be a corkscrew and now you're trying to be a bottle opener, or you're trying to be a spoon. How are you going to serve the world by opening the wine bottle which you came here to open? Maybe you will find a way to do it with the spoon that you think you are, right? But you may struggle. You have to be who you are, and that is your purpose. Your purpose is to be who you are And to discover who you are, you stay on the path of excitement and the path of your passions, the things that bring you alive. Once you stay on the things that bring you alive, you realize that it will unfold more and more about what you love to do, because the thing that you love to do, someone else may not love to do. And that is why you are who you are and they are who they are, because they also have something that they love to do that maybe you don't love to do. And this is why we've all been made uniquely. We are all different puzzle pieces in the grand puzzle. Let's say your puzzle piece is shaped this way, right? But then someone else's puzzle piece is shaped that way, and you are trying to be this. But this puzzle piece fits somewhere particularly in the grand puzzle, and yours fits somewhere particularly in the grand puzzle. And when you fit where you're supposed to fit, you're allowing the greater puzzle to be able to work the way it needs to work. But if you're spending your whole life trying to be something else, you're causing disharmony within the entire puzzle. You're even causing a problem for the other person who you're trying to please as well. So your job is to be who you are. Your job is to be true to yourself, to be a true expression of yourself. And sometimes, because of the different programs we may have growing up, it takes a while, or it takes some hurdles to coming to love yourself and to trust yourself in this true expression. But you have to work towards that. That is when you experience real freedom. That is when you'll be able to live freely, because it's much harder trying to be something else than it is trying to be yourself. Maybe it may take you time to gain that confidence in becoming who you really are and expressing that truly. But just know that if you take that step to love yourself, live in your passions, and express yourself truly and be who you are, who you were made to be, you will be supported. The universe will come together. The higher beings, your ancestors, source energy will all come together to support you, because you have a team that is here rooting for you to be who you are, because who you are serves the greater good. When you are who you really are, you serve the greater good. When you try to be something else, you're just messing up the whole thing. And that's what happens to a lot of us. We get groomed in societies where we are trained to be something else because certain standards have been formed about how people should be. And this is what's causing a lot of problems in our reality. And you find somebody who may be perhaps endowed with the skills to be one of the most skilled carpenters or artisans, wood artisans the world has ever seen, but he or she is stuck in a bank trying to please their family by making money, not knowing that if they were who they were as the artisan, the craftsman, or the craftswoman, that money that they're looking for would even be coming much easier to them with ease, and they won't be living a life of misery trying to make it or trying to please other people, but they will be living a life of joy. Why? Because they are on the path of their purpose. They are on the path of their passion, which is just full of joy and excitement. There's nothing else there apart from joy and excitement. And they will do what they have to do, even if they weren't paid for it, because the energy that is filling them is the energy that is coming directly from God, directly from source energy, directly from the all. And this is why it's aligned, because they are aligned with their higher self and they are aligned with God, because they are serving their purpose, they are serving God, and they are serving the world. So this is why you can't live your life to please others. If you live your life to please others, you are killing yourself and you are slowly becoming less and less alive. You are unaliving yourself. So don't live your life to please others. That's why they'll say maybe live your life to please God, and don't separate yourself from God. Know God as the very thing within you that gives you that energy to live in that joy and that passion, because you are God and God is you. So this is the message I have for you today. I love talking about this, and I'm sure I'll talk about it more and more and more. But follow your heart's desire, follow your passion, follow what makes you come alive, and do it without insistence on what you think is going to happen, and know without a shadow of doubt that everything will work out, because this is why you were made. So things have already been put in place to make you succeed in that place. You just have to take the first step, have confidence, have conviction, and know that everything will work out. And always ask yourself, what am I excited about right this very moment? And do that, and everything else will work out. Take care. Have a beautiful day. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's brought you some value. Leave a comment, any thoughts you have, and let's continue to grow and expand our minds, our consciousness, and take charge of our lives to be the powerful creative beings that we are and we've made to be, and to live this reality in joy, harmony, love, and abundance. Take care. Peace.